All right, everyone, welcome to episode, what are we at, 7?
So,
Of 2 Minutes to Life. I'm Adam with Tanner here. And I'm going to start today by talking about my diet journey, I guess, for the past little bit. I've been cutting out a lot of things and taking a lot of things, basically with the goal of increasing testosterone. And for those who don't know, having higher testosterone helps with muscle growth and low body fat and several good things in your life. And so that's why we tackle testosterone so much. But I take a lot of protein drinks in the day. And what I've been doing is I've been putting a lot of things in those protein drinks, which has... For one, it has changed the flavor into very interesting flavors, but for two has been giving me different feelings, I guess. What's weird to say, first of all, is every time I would start something, a supplement or something, I would feel crazy when I just first started taking it. This crazy energy boost, crazy drive boost with everything I put in there, because I've been adding like little bit by little bit. But what I have in there, so it started with just protein and then with creatine, and then I started adding some potassium because I believe I've been lacking some in my diet, so I've been just putting a little bit of potassium and then a little bit of sodium, because sodium and potassium and protein are essential for muscle growth, so I put a little bit of sodium. And then I started with fenugreek and ashwagandha. Now I started putting in magnesium and ginger, and I feel like there's one more. I can't think of it though. But yeah, so that's my drinks. I drink 3 of those a day with all the different fun stuff in them. So it has been interesting to see. I feel like they're all natural energy boosters. I mean, with all supplements, if you look at your first of all macros and then your micros, and if you're trying to get your micros up to where they should be, you're gonna have natural energy. And so I feel like my energy is been pretty good. But I guess the true test, what are you saying? I was saying the true test is, I guess I'm going to test my testosterone here in probably 3 weeks, and we'll see where it's at. If any of these test boosters, in relation more to the fenugreek and ashwagandha and ginger, because those are kind of the only reasons I'm putting those in there, is to natural testosterone boosters. But I guess the true test we'll see when I test to see where I'm at.
so are you taking different amounts of each of these things, or are you taking a consistent amount in each one of these drinks throughout the day?
All 3 are the same amounts. I basically did the math when it came to supplementation. I did the math of where I think I might be lacking and where I should be, and subtracted obviously what I'm getting through my diet, and then spreading out in those 3 shakes what would get me to where I want to be. So that's what I've been doing there. And that's what I'm taking extra basically in my day, these things. But I'm also trying to cut things out, obviously. Processed foods for the most part. I mean, I do allow myself like 2 cheat meals a day, but I try to stay in my macro range there. Sugars, I'm really trying to cut out sugars. And so it's long story short, it's been a journey. Like I'm preparing for my bulk. I'm going to start a bulk here in like a week and a half. And so I don't know if anyone's heard of black bean brownies. I've been trying to perfect those to get them ready for my bulk, because I mean, black beans are good for you. If you can make brownies out of those, without sugar. And yeah, so it's been fun. We'll see here in a few weeks when I start my bulk and when I test my testosterone, like if they're actually doing me good, or and we'll play
Doing
around
good.
there.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think it'll be good. The black bean brownies, that's a little iffy. I don't know. That's weird to me, but
try them.
try.
Look
Well,
up
I
a
can't. I'm
recipe and
allergic to
try them.
chocolate. I'm allergic to cacao powder. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I can't have chocolate at all. It really sucks. I used to eat a
That
criminal
sucks.
amount of
I
chocolate.
believe
But
cacao powder is a testosterone booster.
there's a pretty good amount of science on it. So yeah, I mean, I wish. I miss sorrow cake. That was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
We used to make that back in the day. That was delicious. That was so good. But there was so much freaking sugar in that. There was a criminal amount of sugar in that.
Well, what I'm learning is processed sugar. It's not good for you at all. Like I just looked into this thing, and basically a lot of people are switching to cane sugar because they believe it's healthier and better. But
Mhm.
it turns out it's worse because they spray the cane down with a bunch of chemicals to get bugs off it and stuff, and that carries over into the sugar. And basically, when we ingest that cane sugar, we're ingesting those chemicals as well.
Mhm.
And so I've learned that's pretty bad. So I
Yeah.
basically been supplementing. My sweeteners are honey, natural honey, and natural maple syrup. Those have been my sweeteners. I've been playing around with a lot of those and sweetening things. And you could get like chocolate, like you put honey and cacao powder together, you got chocolate. I mean, and it's natural chocolate, and it's
Mhm.
good, just as good as normal chocolate. So obviously, I mean, it's a little harder to make, I guess, because it's easy to use processed sugar, and I especially big supplements, and that's, I mean, not supplements, in big bulk quantities, and that's why people use it a lot. But I don't know. Experiment with your health. Try to get rid of those sugars. See how you feel. I mean, I feel great. I feel a lot
It
better
is
than.
it is better to get rid of sugars, just especially for inflammation. A lot of people don't know this, and I actually didn't know this until this last year, is that sugar exacerbates inflammation in the body. So if you're sore after a workout and you decide to opt for processed sugars, you will find that the inflammation and where you were sore will feel worse the following day if you consume. For me, it was anything over 15 grams of sugar would make my joints and wherever I was sore so much worse. And there's numerous studies to show this. Any study on acne and sugar, any sugar just exacerbates inflammation. Like it just makes it so much worse. So whether that's acne, whether that's DOMS, like whether that's just being stupid sore from a workout, like if you want to get rid of that inflammation so that you can heal quicker, negate the sugar from your diet. Like getting rid of the sugar will help in healing and recovery in general. And honey's fine. Honey's great. Maple syrup's great. I have not had any issues anytime I've been eating honey and maple syrup. And I use maple syrup as a sweetener quite often, especially in like my seafood. Whenever I'm cooking seafood, I actually really enjoy using maple syrup. Um, but yeah, it can definitely make recovery worse. Um, this last week, I actually have a funny story. I'm really sore right now from a workout that I did like 4 or 5 days ago, I want to say. And I've been in a lot of pain. And I made the decision to buy Costco muffins because my girl had never tried
They're
them. She's
good.
never had them. And I was like, these are delicious. You have to try them at least once. So you have to buy 2 packs. They don't let you buy one. It's like 2 packs for $9 or whatever. And I did that crazy workout, and I'm like, I'm bulking right now, so I might as well have a cheat meal. I might as well have these carbs. And there's 38 grams of sugar in a single muffin, which is pretty heavy. And they're pretty good sized muffins, and there's a ton of gluten in them as well. So there's two different kinds of inflammatory. So there's the sugar and there's the gluten, and those will make inflammation like brutal. Um, and if anybody had seen the story from a couple of days ago, I did that 1,000 rep workout, and after that 1,000 rep workout is when I bought these muffins. And I had one. And then I had one the following day. Actually, the first one made sleep, that night's sleep, probably the worst sleep I've had in months. Um, the second one I had the next day, which no dissing on the muffins, they're delicious. They're the best damn muffins I've ever eaten in my life. But for recovery, it is the worst experience. It has been incredibly painful. Like probably some of the worst pain I've experienced when it comes to recovery. And so yesterday and today I've just been trying to detox with ginger and water, lemon, just because like my legs are in so much pain from that workout. And not even from the workout. Like the workout couldn't have been that bad. It's just the fact that I overloaded my system with inflammatories. And now I'm suffering the consequences. So probably messed my tea up a little bit too. Damn muffins are so good.
They are freaking good muffins. Luckily I don't have a Costco too close to me, so I don't have that temptation.
Yeah, they're so good. It's the first time I'd had them in probably since for a long time, really. I haven't had them in a long time, but they're good. They're really good. They're slutty. They're some slutty muffins.
I feel like everyone should look at their daily consumption of sugar and just see how much you're actually taking in, because I think it's surprising, especially if you're looking at, pre-made food or, processed foods. It's crazy to see how much grams of sugar you're actually eating in a day. And then, obviously getting down to zero is, we like our sugar, It's okay to have a muffin every once in a while. But I would, personally, from my experience, I say trying to get that sugar down as low as you can. You're just going to see a lot more benefits. And what was crazy is, getting my sugar way down. When I actually did indulge in the sugar, it made me sick. So It's just like, yeah, if you're going to get your sugar down, don't have a cheat day where you're going to go out and have 20 grams of sugar. But yeah, getting it down as low as you can, you'll feel the benefits. That processed sugar, it's not good for you. It's just instant glucose.
Yeah, and it's an inflammatory. Like it makes things worse. It makes things slower in the body. And you can know this by giving children sugar, high amounts of sugar. You see them like high and happy for like 10 minutes, and then they're screaming in pain in the next 10 minutes, and then at about 30 minutes, they're just clocked out. They're like, bedtime. And we did that all the time as kids. Like, we didn't give a damn. I would be curious to actually start counting up how many grams of sugar I'm getting in a day and doing the math of what percentage of my testosterone am I like kissing away in every single day? Because like I do have like those muffins. I'm like, oh yeah, like 38 grams, whatever, like it's nothing. But like, what are the other things that I had in the day? Like maybe I had like my beef, but I also put teriyaki sauce on my beef when I'm cooking it, and like there's sugar in that. And so if I added that sugar, and then my rice is healthy, my rice is all good. But like my oatmeal, there's peanut butter on top of my oatmeal. And in the peanut butter, there's a little bit of sugar. And then in my oatmeal, I also put brown sugar in the oatmeal, which brown sugar I think is better just because I found out that there's a lot of trace minerals in brown sugar. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But I don't think it's a healthy sugar. I wouldn't say it is. So I only put around a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, but that adds up. And so I'd be curious. But I did make a bunch of granola this week, and the sweetener I used was maple syrup for the granola, because I'm trying to get away from my oatmeal because of the extra sugar that I'm adding into the oatmeal. I'm like, I don't want to be eating brown sugar. I want just maple syrup and honey, especially after this last week and the pain that I'm in from those damn muffins.
I do wish it was easier to test your testosterone. I've looked There are at-home kits.
Hmm.
They're super expensive, and I don't know how reliable they are. The reviews seem to be kind of back and
Mixed.
forth. So I wish like it was easier to test your testosterone, because I mean, if that were the case, I mean, we could be testing it on a daily basis and looking at what we've ate that day and
Hmm.
evaluating and see what lowers, what raises, and how much. And
Hmm.
I wish it was easier, but it's not.
And I think those at-home kits, you still have to send the sample in for them to test it. I'm not
Do you?
100% sure, but I know a lot of them, you still have to like, it has everything in it. You put like, I think it's one of them's like a cheek swab or something like that, and then you send it in and they test it. But
Well, I think there
yeah,
were
I'm cool.
some that test it, but then again, like, I don't know how reliable that would be if you're not sending it to an actual lab with the equipment for it.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
I'd love to test my testosterone daily, but I feel like that would be spendy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would
I mean,
cost
I
money.
went to a, healthcare provider just the other day, and it's just, man, they charge you a lot.
It's,
I
it's
don't
Western medicine.
understand. He's like, I
It's
saw him for 5 minutes just for something, and he was trying to charge me $200. Luckily, my insurance, took care of most of it. But it's just like, what?
yeah,
Why? Like,
yeah.
5 minutes of your time is worth that much money, I guess.
Dude, that's Western medicine for you. That's just how it is over here. And I know a lot of people in other countries will probably hear that and be like, "What? $200 for 5 minutes of a doctor's time?" You probably just asked him a couple of questions, which it's surprising. The I'd say the last time I went to a doctor, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, um, was probably 6 years ago. Yeah, it was probably 6 years ago. Like an actual physician and been like, I'm in pain, help me, you know. I don't go to doctors. I don't trust doctors. I think they're crazy. But
Yeah,
that
it's like,
one time I went, I was only in there for 30 minutes, and then I was fighting my way out. I was like, no, I'm leaving. This is ridiculous. Like, you guys are wasting my time and you're not answering my questions. And they fought me. Like, they genuinely fought me to sign all these waivers before I would leave. And they were like, you have to sign this before you leave. And I'm like, no, you know what? Like, this has been a waste of my time. Like, this is stupid. I'm leaving. They're like, no, we can't let you leave until you sign this. And I was like, I'm not signing shit. Like, get that out of my face. And they're like, no, but at least sign this one. And I'm like, I'm not signing any of this paperwork. I'm trying to leave. Let me leave. And they're like, no, sign this paper. And I kept, what did I say? I kept saying, I reserve the right to refuse medical attention. I reserve the right to refuse medical attention. Get out of my face. Like, I was so upset at them. I was like, just get out of my way. You're not helping me. And they did end up getting like two or three signatures from me before I left. And it's like the 30 minutes that they had me. And something was wrong with my stomach. Something had went wrong. And I was like, you know what, this is stupid. You guys aren't helping. Like I'll just take ginger or something. And I remember I got the bill for it. And they didn't give me anything. Like I was just trying to ask questions to this doctor. And I got the bill for it and it was pretty hefty. It was kind of stupid. Um, and they at some point they tried to say that they gave me gauze, and I was like, and they were going to charge me $150 for a gauze pad, and I was like, I didn't have receive any gauze, and what you buy gauze from local grocery store, Exhibit A, for like $5. How are you going to charge $150 for gauze? Like what the? No, it's crazy. Western medicine is kind of terrifying. How much
yeah,
they
I
get
don't.
away with charging things.
I could vent for hours on it, but I don't want to.
No, no, it's not worth it. Everybody knows how bad it is over here.
It's just
So you've been taking fenugreek, and so how many grams of fenugreek have you been taking every day?
um two 2,000 milligrams, so 2 grams. I think that's about where I'm at daily with both fenugreek and ashwagandha.
Wait, you're at 2,000 for ashwagandha? Oh shit!
Yeah,
That's a lot. Okay. Wow. Okay. I need to pump up my numbers up. My numbers are rookie numbers compared to yours. Holy crap, man.
well, here in a week and a half when I start my bulk, I'm gonna reevaluate and redistribute, and maybe I'll go up. We'll see.
I've only been taking maybe 600 milligrams of ashwagandha every day. I'd have to check. Might actually be less, maybe 300. And then the zinc 50 milligrams. The fenugreek, though, because you said you were taking 2 grams, I remember that. I was like, I'll take 1,800 milligrams. I think that'll do me good. So I've been taking 1,800 milligrams, and it feels great. I didn't take it yesterday or today, though. I decided to take yesterday and today off. But
Consistency, man.
I know, I know. I've just been worried about the extra inflammation in my body from
Mm.
probably from the damn muffins. Keep thinking I can get away with those, but I can't. And so I just like took everything out of my system yesterday and today, and I've just been going like ginger, honey, lemon, just trying to get my inflammation down in my body. So no supplements. Literally, like today, the only thing I've had is apple cider vinegar, um, honey, and lemon. And I'm going to be doing a ginger tea tonight. Well, not tonight, but after, just because I'm trying to get my legs not in so much pain. They're in excruciating pain, and I'm like, this isn't livable. This is terrible. This isn't worth it. So I'm just getting everything out really quick, and I'll pump everything back in. So
Fun. Yeah, what's weird about fenugreek and ashwagandha is, you could Google it. It's like, how much should I be taking? And you'll see every number out there on every different article. But the thing is, like, the more you take, it doesn't have downsides. It's basically a food. It's a root. So it's like too much. It's not going to harm you.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think the benefits start as little as 500 milligrams. So
Yeah, yeah. I was seeing with fenugreek, they found the fat loss study that you had sent me on the fenugreek. They saw significant results even with 300 milligrams of fenugreek, which I thought was crazy. I was like, that's insane. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was 300 milligrams. But they were dosing all the way up to 5 grams, so 5,000 milligrams in some of the studies, um, which obviously they saw the highest increase in testosterone when they were around 2 to 5 grams of fenugreek a day, um, which was crazy. It was like 46% increase. That was insane. I was like, that's nuts. That's absolutely like mind blowing. And it was after like 8 hours of taking it. I was like, what? This is stupid. This is crazy.
yeah, fenugreek's
Um,
nuts.
I just thought of something. I realized that I haven't been taking my cold showers. I was like 200 and some days consistent with my cold showers, and I'm not doing cold showers recently, and that's probably why my inflammation is so bad. Also because of those damn muffins.
Just blame it on the muffins.
I am blaming the muffins. I'm putting a lot of weight on
I,
them.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm craving some muffins right now.
I know I should stop talking about them. I feel like I'm a
The drive to
promoter.
Costco.
I know. Just gotta stop being a promoter for them. I'm not promoting. I am not. It's what it is. They're good. They're bad. They're good, but they're bad.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, everything in moderation. Cheat days are good. Cheat meals are good. It's good to have them once a week, especially for your insulin levels. Just because it does like help with the metabolism. That's one thing. I am really excited to see you on your bulk because I think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be nuts. Which I do want to be like heavily involved with it. I want to just like see what we can do, where we can go with it, because I think you're going to like load up weight really quick, and not just that. Like I think your lifts are going to get pretty insane, especially since you've tackled your NASM course and devoured that information. Like there's so much in there that you can utilize for bulking that you're like you've got that momentum and you're just ready to like take off and see what happens with the body. So this is going to be fun. You'd be thicker than me. You'd be like 250 pounds at next spot.
Yeah, it should be good. And I'm planning on recording a lot of it too, on my personal pages, just tracking it all, and because I think that's going to be really cool to look at everything and track it and see the progress, and so I'm
Yeah.
excited. Should be fun. That'll be good.
It'll be cool, especially with the 13 years of work behind it. Now that you've got all of this like gold information to just like explode in the direction that you want to take when it comes to bulking. So it'll be good, especially getting rid of like. So a lot of people when they bulk, obviously we both know this. We've all done it. We've all done the dirty bulk. We've all done that sloppy, dirty bulk where you're eating McChickens and pizzas and whatever you want every day. And it's not worth it. So it'll be cool to see you jump on this bulk, but still be tackling like a healthy diet, like minimizing like sugars and just like maximizing carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and all of your trace minerals and whatnot. Because a bulk,
I feel
bulking
like
that direction.
there's a lot of people that say there's no such thing as a dirty bulk because all it is your calories, right? How much calories you're taking and your protein. And I mean, you could look at it that way, but there's a lot more behind the scenes. I mean, sure, you could do a bulk with you could do a dirty bulk. I mean, as long as you're focusing on your calories and getting your protein in. But, looking at all the macros and what everything does for you and where your energy comes from and how much of muscle you're putting on versus fat. I mean, there's so many different things to look into. As I think I was saying earlier, it's just carbohydrates, simple versus complex. It's so much easier to put on muscle if you're eating complex carbohydrates. But if you're eating only simple, I mean, your body's naturally just gonna want to store that as fat. That's just how those work. And so, obviously, optimizing your diet is essential, like on a cut and bulk. So
Yeah. Also, people who dirty bulk, I can say this with confidence. Anybody who dirty bulks stays on a dirty bulk way too long. Like, way too long. And they know that too. They're like, I'm bulking, I'm bulking. 3 years later, they're like, I'm still bulking. Like, and it's a problem. You shouldn't be bulking that long. Like, there was a dirty bulk that I had that lasted 3 years, and that was not okay. Like, I had terrible inflammation in my body. So, if you do a healthy bulk, you will find yourself in a healthy movement between your cuts and your bulks. You won't be on a bulk for 2 to 3 years. You'll be on a bulk for 6 months, maybe, not even. And then you'll be on your cut for a while, depending on how you tackle your bulks and cuts. If you want to tackle a bulk for 3 years, you know what? More power to you. Like, whatever, go for it. But there is an advantage to moving between the bulk and the cut, and because you learn a lot. Like we've learned a ton. I've learned so much moving back and forth between a bulk and a cut.
excuse
Like
me.
the times that I bulked, I'm like, all right, what do I got to eat? How much protein do I need? And then in my cut, it's like, wait, I'm supposed to cut how many carbs out? Like how much calories? Like wait, what? Like, but I still got to get this amount of nutrients in, these trace minerals. And so you do end up learning a lot about what goes into the body, what can go into the body during certain times. And then you get to learn how to play with your weight, like actually play with the weight in your body. This last cut, and this is like incredibly vulnerable for me to say. So my bulk, I was 227, 225. And I liked staying above 220. And I finally tackled my cut. And my cut resulted in me going down to 189 pounds. It was brutal. It was insane. But I got to cut down to 7% body fat. And it's the most cut I've ever been. Like, the most chiseled to the bone I've ever been. And I still look great from it. I'm like, yeah, like, this is great. But it was the scariest thing in the world to see that scale drop below 190. I was like, I hate my life. Like, this is the most depressing thing I've ever seen in my life. I am terrified. And to the uninitiated, it seems like, oh my God, you've lost so much muscle. And yes, I lost a lot of my PRs. I wasn't able to go above 400 pounds in squat, and that was really depressing. That really hurt my ego. But I had never felt better. I had never felt healthier, and all of the inflammation was gone from my body. Like my cheeks used to be super, super puffy, like really puffy. and I had like really bad acne. And it's because I was always eating pizza, like Costco pizzas and whatnot. I'm like, oh, I'm bulking, I'm bulking, I'm bulking. I'll eat a whole pizza, bulking. And since I got to like actually cut, and during my cut, I just tackled like my protein intake, my macronutrients, and my trace minerals and whatnot. And I just got rid of all of those crappy carbs, the breads, the pastas, dairy, anything. I got rid of all of that. And I went straight to just meat, vegetables, and fruits, and sliced off over 30 pounds off my body, just gone. And it was terrifying. It was scary to see, but honest to God, you learn a lot about the body, and you learn how efficiently you can move weight off of your body that doesn't need to be there. Like inflamed weight that doesn't need to be there. I'd say a good 15 pounds of my weight, actually the majority of it, was just inflammation in the body. It was just unnecessary inflammation. Probably 20 pounds of it was unnecessary inflammation. And just like getting rid of that, like fat just like melted off. It was like, oh, we don't need to be here. So it's kind of crazy to see, but you do end up learning a lot about how to move weight off the body and move weight onto the body effectively and efficiently. It's kind of cool to see. So anybody who's on a perpetual bulk, I highly advise you to start tackling a cut.
Yeah, I feel like there's a good balance. I mean, I feel like if you're going over a year on a bulk, really evaluate yourself. What are you doing? But there's a concept I kind of wanted to dive into. It got me thinking. You said, about your ego. And when it comes to your nutrition and exercise in your body, I feel like a huge part of it is putting your ego aside and humbling yourself, because like I feel like a lot of it is just it's a personal journey. And for example, like I'm a smaller guy, I'm almost 140 pounds on my cut, and so in my head, comparing myself to other people, it detriments my ego. It's just like I'm so small and I'm so light. People, average person putting 180 or something around there, and so like, but you got to realize it's a personal journey, and I mean with anything in life, looking at it, when you want to grow, you really have to become humble, especially at first, because you got to start putting in the reps, and with anything, they're not going to be pretty at first. You just got to start going, It's just, when you start exercising, you just got to go to the gym. You just got to start putting those reps in, and you're going to have horrible form at first. Obviously, you want to look to mentors. You want to get advice from them. You got to say, how can I, but if you got to personalize it, like, how can I get to where I want to go, And comparing yourself to others is just always a bad way to look at things. But it just got me thinking, because everyone's on their personal journey, and you gotta just humble yourself and get at it and go for it, and don't think about what other two people may think, and don't compare yourself to others. Just go for it, and that's how you're gonna achieve things, is just through the consistency of starting and keeping on going. So
yeah, one of my favorite quotes is actually from one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time, Mike O'Heron. He has this thing about putting on mass, and it is drop the ego and drop the weight. And it's because a lot of guys, when they're trying to put on mass, they try to push really heavy weight. And the secret to putting on mass, actual muscle size, is by lowering the weight that you're working with. And so his quote is, drop the ego, drop the weight. Instead of trying to lift 100 pounds, lift 50. Like, almost cut these things in half. And a buddy had reached out to me recently asking me how to put on mass. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that I have ever learned, is to slow things down. Especially when you're lifting and you're trying to build that size, is you can tell where the ego lifters are in the gym. When you walk in, they're moving incredibly fast. They're trying to just throw weight up really quick, a lot of weight up really quick. And This is why I don't believe in a one rep max. This is why I don't participate in the whole one rep max thing. Guys who just go for that one rep and then they rack it. Oh, sweet, I did 400 pounds. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that's your one rep max. I believe that if you can't do it for a set of 6, then you can't touch that weight, and you shouldn't touch that weight, because it's dangerous. It's incredibly dangerous. And I've seen a lot of people fold themselves and get injured and be out of the gym for 2 years or more indefinitely because they were playing around with one rep maxes. And so I think the secret to just the gym in general in improving your health and building your muscle is realizing that you don't know anything in the gym. Like, be willing to understand that you don't know a damn thing, and be willing to drop the weight, drop the ego, and slow things down. The majority of the times that I got really big in the gym were the times that I slowed down, I cut the weight down of whatever I was lifting. If it was squats, instead of trying to push 400 pounds, I went to my 225, which was like the half of what my max. And sometimes I would eat, like, I'd say the biggest after I moved here to Hawaii, I got up to 200 and around the 220 range. And I would start my squat sessions with just a single plate on either side, which for me, that was really easy, just a single plate. That was essentially like the bar. But I would start with the bar at first, and I would do 2 sets of 15, just the bar. And I know I looked stupid. Like, I know that it looked dumb. People are like, there's this big dude over there, and he's just got the bar on him, and he's just doing sets of 15. And I didn't care. Like, I didn't give a damn. And then I would throw my one plate on either side, just the 45 on either side. And again, I would do 2 sets of 15 with just one plate. And there were days that, like, I would just slow things down to where I was going 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down with just the single plate on either side. And I was trying to get maximal muscle recruitment. And a lot of people don't know this, but the faster you move in any sort of muscle movement, the less muscles you are recruiting for that movement. So whether it's a curl, a squat, a deadlift, if you're moving really quickly, understand that you're only recruiting around 15 to 20% of the muscles to make that movement happen. But if you slow it down, like if you slow it to a 2 seconds down or two seconds up and 2 seconds down, you're moving into the 80 to 90% muscle recruitment. And if you can get more than that, like if you can go 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, and you can get to 15 reps of something, you're now recruiting 100% of the muscles around that area. So instead of working on 20% of the muscle, you're working on 100% of the muscle in that area, which means you're going to get a lot bigger, a lot quicker. And it's all because you slowed down. And a lot of people don't think that. And it's kind of cool because it really represents that tortoise and the hare. It's like you slow things down and you'll get further than everybody else. Like, a lot of people don't know that. They're like, I gotta move really quick. I gotta use the heavy weight really fast and I'll get bigger. And it's like, no, slow things down, lower the weight, you'll get bigger.
I like to think of, with the NASM personal trainer course, they talk about 2 main types of motivation. You got your intrinsic and your extrinsic. And the intrinsic is basically things that are going to bring you in the gym long term. Those are I work out because I enjoy it, or I work out because I get health benefits from it and it makes me feel better. And obviously the extrinsic is the ego, right? I work out because I want to look good. I work out because I want to lift heavy weights in front of people, or I want to do a lot of reps. And so personally, I think about, a few weeks ago when in the first few episodes of this podcast, when we were setting goals, I'm setting goals of, over 100 push-ups. And it took me, after I was watching my form, to realize I didn't have perfect form, because I was just getting those reps out. I just wanted to get that ego high. I could do over 100,
Yeah.
And so when I finally said, I'm going to do perfect push-ups, I'm going to see how many I could do of those, I think I got to 70. It cut my reps way down. It really humbled me it applies to anything. I mean, if you're lifting heavy weight, why you're lifting heavy weight, look at your motivation. Do you have extrinsic or intrinsic? Like, are you doing it for other people to see you? Or are you doing it because you want to actually benefit your life. Like, so by correcting my form on my push-ups, I was finally able, to humble myself and see where I'm at and actually feel the workouts more. And I mean, I think, yeah, just look at your workouts. Like, where are your goals at? Are they where they should be? And what are your true goals? I feel like everyone has them deep inside. What do you really want out of the gym? And by lifting those heavy weights, like, are they actually getting you there? Yeah.
It's kind of funny because yes, the heavy weights help, but they don't help as much as people would think. And I would challenge anybody at all. If you're an avid gym goer and say you curl 35-pound dumbbells and you can do them for a set of 8, grab the 15s just for fun and do 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, and go for a set of 20. And tell me that you are not truly suffering with the sluttiest pump of your life by that 20th rep. I guarantee you will have the nastiest pump of your life on that 20th rep. If you're going 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, the 15-pound dumbbell, even me, like, and I lift a lot when I'm curling, and I love it. There are days where I grab those 70s, and I'm like, yeah, fuck everybody around me. Like, none of you can do this shit. I feel good about it. But then I'm like, wait up, I'm not getting anything from this. This is just ego. Like, this is just my ego. And then I move down to the 20s, so the 25s, and I move really, really slow. And people will comment on it. They're like, dude, what are you doing with that? Like, I've seen you over there with the 50s. And I'm like, I'm trying to grow. I'm actually trying to grow. I'm not trying to be a dick today. Like, because the real growth happens is when you are slowing things down with the lighter weight. And I guarantee, even a 15-pound dumbbell, if you're an avid goer and you're going with the 30s, 35s, 40s, I don't care how much you can lift, cut it in half, go for 20 reps, and slow those reps down to 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down. And I guarantee you will have the gnarliest, sluttiest pump on your arms with that weight and those reps. And make sure the tempo is slow. The slow tempo is the king of it. It's one of the coolest things I've ever discovered in the gym, but it's also one of the biggest secrets that the big guys hide. All of the big guys, when everybody's at the gym, we'll throw big weight around, but when everybody's gone, the real growth happens when we grab those 25-pound dumbbells. When we grab those 20-pound dumbbells, that's when we're making real growth. Like,
I think it's important to mix things up too. I mean,
oh yeah.
I think we're all guilty. I'm guilty of it. It's just you stick to the same workout routine, right? Mm-hmm. And I think everyone's heard of it. It's just, shock the muscle, switch it up. And so, like, I've been experimenting with a lot of things, pyramid sets, drop sets, and, you got your, I don't know what exactly you would call it when you slow it down, but mix it up, You could do the heavy weights, but don't always do the heavy weights. Yeah. Mix it up, experiment with new things, try out new things. They're going to shock your muscle, and they're going to, it's like doing a different movement. It's your muscle's going to grow from it in different ways. And so if you're doing variations of different workouts, obviously you're going to get the best benefit because you're hitting every area of that muscle and every tempo and every variation. And I think it's important to look at all that and do all those.
Yeah. Arnold has a good blueprint for mass. And in that, he talks about shocking the muscle. It's doing something that the muscle's not expecting. Like doing something that it doesn't know that's coming. Because typically, you've got your shoulder day. You know what you're going to do. You're going to do your military press, your dumbbell press, whatever. Do something that you don't usually do. And surprise the muscle. Like, really surprise it. Do something that one of the favorite things that one of our buddies, Jed, taught me was do something that you hate doing. Like, do the thing that you're avoiding. If it's front squats, do it. If it's deadlift, do it. If you're avoiding something in the gym and you haven't done it, or you probably should try to do it. And you'll find that there's a shocking somewhere in there that your body's like, ow, this hurts. I don't like this. One of the things that I was avoiding for a long time was Bulgarian split squats. And I kept seeing all these posts from like Chris Bumstead, from like all these people that I like really looked up to, and they're like, man, these are the biggest hack at like growing my quads. And I'm like, damn it. All right, fine. So I started incorporating Bulgarian split squats, and I hate them. I hate Bulgarian split squats, but I do them every week now, and I hate them. Every time I do them, I look at them, I'm like, "Ah, I hate these things, man. This is not the thing I want to do. I want to do like the leg press. I want to do the squat. But I know the Bulgarian split squat, for me, because I hate it, means I should do it. And so I do it every week, even though I completely wish like they didn't exist. Like they're the most painful leg workout I can do. But pick the thing that you're not doing. Find something that you're not doing, that you're not comfortable with doing, that you don't know how to do, and do it. And you will find that you can shock the muscle in a new movement. And that's the biggest key to the gym is surprise yourself. Find a way to surprise yourself today. If you normally just do normal curls, grab the easy bar and do reverse grips. Like, find something that you're not doing and do it. And you will find it a quick way to shock the muscle and growth somewhere that you've been missing. That's something that I've had to learn the last couple of years. Jed, one of our good friends, actually helped me with this. A number of years ago, I was trying to work on my dumbbell press, my overhead dumbbell press, and I couldn't get it over a certain amount. And he was like, "How often do you use the barbell for overhead press?" And I was like, "Never. I've never used the barbell for overhead press." And he's like, "You should try it. It'll help your dumbbell overhead press." And I was like, "I don't know if it will." And he's like, "No, trust me, you should do things that you're not comfortable with on those shoulders if you want to get that weight above this number." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And I tried it, just 1 week of just trying the barbell, and I couldn't do it, which was funny to me because I could dumbbell press like comfortably above my head. But for some reason with the bar, I couldn't push even like 3/4 of the weight that I was pushing on dumbbells. And I was like, what's going on? And it's because I wasn't used to it. My body didn't understand the movement. And it worked out different muscles that I had never been touching. And when I worked those, I was able to move like 15 pounds up on my dumbbell overhead press. And I was like, oh, shit. Homie was right. Like, surprise the muscle. You gotta surprise the muscle. And it's kind of cool how much growth you can make in just those times that you do surprise your muscles, when you do the things that you don't like doing. It's really fascinating to see how much you can grow in your lifts that you already do. It's kind of cool.
I think it's interesting, the concept of comfort versus discomfort. You know, in working out and in life, there's a book I've been reading. It's called Man's Search for Meaning by, I think it's Viktor Frankl. And in it, he talks about the camps back in World War II that he was in, and the experiences he's had, and basically how that applies in the people in the concentration camps, and how they value their lives and how they found meaning through the hard times. And so obviously, it's an extreme comparison, but he talks about a concept of that I really found interesting, worthy of suffering. And he says, looking into your life and seeing if you're worthy of suffering. Like, are you able to withstand the hard things that come, and are you able to get through them? And so, taking the big analogy and making it smaller, I think we can put ourselves through discomfort, through suffering, so to say, and physically and mentally, and I think they prepare us more for when life gives us that suffering. And when life gives us that suffering, are we worthy? Are we prepared enough to withstand that and maintain our composure and maintain a purpose in life and maintain our goals and our view paradigms? So I don't know. I think my thoughts are all over the place, but like, the only true things that matter is your personal goals, like where you are mentally and where you're going, right? And obviously the gym is a huge part of that, is just like people say a big part of the gym is your mental, majority than physical, is you're able to put yourself through those hard things and comprehend those hard things and keep pushing yourself and keep growing. But I think it's a unique way of looking at things is like, am I worthy of this? Can I take this? Can I put myself through this? Can I do the things that I don't want to do? Because, obviously you're going to grow if you put yourself through the discomfort, either in life or your workouts, right? You're going to push yourself consistently and hard, and you're going to find the things you don't want to do, and you're going to put yourself through those, because that's how you grow, is you put yourself through these discomforts and these sufferings, and you grow despite those, and you maintain your composure and you maintain your goals, and you use your suffering to benefit yourself. So a lot of ideas there, but I just been thinking about that a lot.
It kind of sparked just a one-liner. Growth only happens in discomfort. That's my argument, is that I would say that the only way to grow is to pursue discomfort, is to find it in discomfort. It's the only place you find growth. At least in all of my years of living, which I get, 27 years is not a lot for some people. I would say that arguably all of my growth has been found in discomfort, is in the times where I'm uncomfortable. And so long as I'm continually chasing uncomfortable situations, and I'm not talking like unhealthy, uncomfortable situations, I'm talking the obvious ones of like reading the book that I'm avoiding, or the workout that I'm like, I don't really feel like I need to do it, but when I do it, I end up feeling great. Anytime I've pursued discomfort, a course that I didn't want to take, but I kind of wanted to take because I knew I would learn something from it, anytime I've pursued discomfort, I've found growth. And anytime I pursue comfort, I don't really find growth. I'd say a lot of the times when we're seeking comfort, we more so find what Alex Ramosi calls mental masturbation, where we're just scrolling and just like letting information hit us, but we're not really retaining anything. Anytime I've really just seeked comfort, I haven't found any growth. Any like true masterful growth, like growth that really has impacted my life. And the only times that I've found growth that has really changed me or moved me is when I've pursued discomfort. Like the time last week when I was scared to record working out. I've been working out for 13 years, but it was like, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to record this. And then I did it, and I learned my angles. I learned the angles in which I should record myself when working out, so that people could see the movements. And I was like, oh, now I know how to present these things to people in an accurate form to where they can see it and be like, okay, this is what's actually moving in the body. And I didn't know that before, but I had to pursue that discomfort. I had to lean into it, I would say, lean into that discomfort to find that growth. And it's the same with anything. If you have a book that you're kind of avoiding, or a course that you're avoiding, just do it. I mean, you had been talking about the NASM course for a little bit. You're like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? And then you did it. You blasted through it, and you got a ton out of it. And you were like, dude, that was worth it. That was hard. Like, you were like, this was hard, but it was worth it. It was uncomfortable at first, but once you leaned into it, you got a lot out of it. And I would argue that's one of the best courses that you could take for your health. Like, one of the most accessible out there. So.
Yeah, I don't know, it really saddens me to see people who don't have something they're working on. I think it's our innate nature to be building, like just building and building and building and working towards something. And, going back to that book I'm reading, Man's Search for Meaning, is there are people in the concentration camps that just gave up. I'm dead. I died a long time ago. I'm done. And they just gave up. And then there's the other type of people who found a purpose in the little tiny bit of control that probably most of us will never even come close to experiencing the tiny bit of control they actually had in their lives. They found meaning and they found a goal and they worked towards that. And if you look at any studies, I've seen several studies, those people who are unhappy in their lives and those people who are happy, the people who are happy have a purpose. They are seeking something. They are building something. And those who are unhappy are not. They've given up on life, so to say. And so it really saddens me to see people who just aren't working towards anything. They're just in the passenger seat of their own life, just scrolling along, and they're genuinely unhappy. Mm-hmm. But personally, like when I'm the happiest, and you said it yourself, like when you're working towards something that through the discomfort, although it may be unpleasant at first, it's like, going for a run. Most people, they don't like running. But after that running, how do you feel? You normally feel pretty good. Yeah. I feel great. Like I don't like running at all. But after workout, I feel great. After pushing myself through something that I don't necessarily want to do, I feel great. Like, for example, like I hate writing. Like I want to write. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people compare this to the gym, like who doesn't want a good physical body, who wants to be in good shape and lift good weights, but actually going to the gym and doing it, that's a whole different story. And it's kind of the same aspect with me and writing. It's like, I love the idea of having a book that I've written, but the concept of writing is extremely hard, probably one of the hardest things for me. But if I sit down and I do it, even just for a few minutes, the amount of probably dopamine that my brain releases, like, good job. I feel great after it. And so I think it comes back to a lot of the aspect of staying true to yourself. I think the second your brain says, I want to do this, and you don't do it, that's where sadness comes from. That's where depression comes from. That's where, you're unhappy with your life. But if the second an idea comes and like, I want to do this, and you do it, that's where happiness comes from. I think it's a lot of simpleness in that fact. It's just, if you want something, tackle it. It probably is not going to be easy, but the second the thought comes in your head, like, I want to do this, I want to tackle it, and you will see happiness. And not only that, you'll see success. Just always build. I think it's man's purpose. It's just build, create, and find a goal and a purpose.
Purpose is such an interesting thing to say. And I think a lot of people get scared of that word purpose because, like I said, it took me 26 years for me to figure out what I wanted my purpose to be on this planet, what I wanted to pursue and leave behind. And for anyone that doesn't know their purpose or doesn't know what they're here for, the only thing I would urge you to do is do things that you're interested in doing, but you're scared of trying. Do all of the things that you find interest or pique your interest, but you're scared of trying. And in pursuing all of those things, not just a couple of those things, just pursue all of them. You'll find it there. You'll find it hidden in there, something that really makes you come alive, where you lose time. You're doing the thing and time slips away. You're like, I'm doing the thing, shit, it's midnight, what happened? That's where it's at. I would say that's where you find purpose, is when you put your hand on the work, you start doing the work, and time slips away. That's, I'd say, where you find purpose. That's the easiest way to find purpose. Because purpose does scare a lot of people when they hear that. They're like, what's my purpose? God, what's my purpose? Like, I'm so scared. Like, is it this church? Is it, this organization over here? Like, what's my purpose? And I didn't find mine until doing a lot of things. I'd say a lot of things, and then I found my why. Like, why do I want to get up? Why do I want to do this work? Why does this work pique my interest? Why do I enjoy doing this work? Why? Because you'll find your purpose in a why. Never make your purpose a who or a what. You will find this complete toil in life. Like your life will go to shit if you try to make your purpose a who or a what. Your purpose
That's
must be a
extrinsic
why.
motivation.
Yeah, yeah. It must be a why. And find your why by doing the things that you're a little slightly uncomfortable doing. That you're like, I should probably be doing this thing. It's exciting, but I'm not doing it. And if you can do that thing and you lose time, find out why you like doing that thing. And if you can find that why in it, and you pursue that why, you will expand and grow your purpose. You'll be like, this is what I want to build. This is what I want to leave behind. And I think that's incredibly important when searching for purpose or finding purpose, is pursuing that why in between the craft that you're doing, the things that you want to build and leave behind. So I would just leave that there.
Yeah. Good
Well,
thoughts.
let's go over goals, dog. How'd you do last week?
Let's see.
What was your physical goal?
Oh yeah, so my physical goal was, I think it was meditation. Create a habit of meditation. I think
How'd you do?
I, playing around with different things. I think I figured out how I wanna approach it. It's just I think yoga is
That's good.
more of because I'm I don't know, with how motivated and ambitious I've been lately. We talked about our last episode, dual motives.
Mm,
And so it is extremely hard for me to sit and do nothing, which is definitely something I should learn to do in the long run. But the concept of, doing yoga, stretching, and doing nothing, kind of combining the two is, I found, helpful for me. And so just before I go to sleep and right after I wake up, I've kind of 15 minutes of yoga and meditation, I feel like, is kind of the direction I see myself going. And so last night and this morning, I finally kind of established that.
nice.
So yeah, I would say I've reached that goal. Let's see, what was my mental goal? Oh, writing. Yeah, create a writing routine. And I don't know, I was just in my head, I'm like, there has to be some tips and tricks on how to make this more appealing and doable for me, but there isn't. It's just the fact of sitting down and doing it. And I think you told me just 2 minutes, just start with 2 minutes. And so that's what I did. I just sat down and I didn't give myself the option to get up until I have done it a little bit, And so just doing that, I've been able to do it. And if you force yourself just to do it, something will come out of it. And so just by sitting and forcing myself to do it and making that a routine, I'm able to just progress little by little. And right, so yeah, that's what I've learned with my goals. Let me see if I want to create some new ones here.
Physically, what do you want to accomplish this week?
So much. Um,
Give yourself grace. Pick just one thing you really want to make sure you nail down this week.
so right now I'll just make this as a goal. Right now I'm kind of seeing where I sit on a 6 rep max for a lot of my weights, or a lot of my reps when it comes to the complex heavy lifts. And so I guess that I could set that as my goal, is because my plan here on my bulk is just, I say 5 pounds a week, just up them, but we'll see how it goes. But so I'm just gonna set that as my goal, is just see where my 6 pound rep is, or max, on bench, squat, and deadlift this week. That
So
will be my
establish
physical.
your 6 rep maxes this week. Establish
Yeah.
those numbers. Okay.
And then every week after that, I'll try to bump them up week by week. So I'll establish them this week.
Okay.
And intellectual. I'll aim to finish this book I'm reading.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. I finished half of it. It's basically just 2 chapters. It's kind of the first chapter is just his experience in the camp, and I think what he's going with the second chapter is just diving into the search for meaning inside the second chapter. So I'll set that as my intellectual.
Okay.
All right, let's hear yours. Where were you at this week?
Okay, so physical goal, I think was 4 workouts over 2 hours. I think it was, which I hit it. I've slowed things down pretty heavily. I have been tackling just 100 reps for things, not all at once. I've been doing sets of 15 or sets of 20, just super slow, lightweight, just because I am bulking again. So I just aim for 100 reps total, but I cut things up into like sets of 15 with a lot lighter of weight, and I just really, really control it. So slowed my workouts down. That was a success. Now I'm just trying to heal in the 3 days that I have off of the gym, which is hard. So I did that. My intellectual goal was to get halfway through Think and Grow Rich. I did not get halfway through. And the reason being is there's a lot of writing exercises that I did not do the first 3 times I read this book. I just blasted through this book every time I read it. And I found that the reason that I feel called to read it again is to actually do what he's telling me to do. Like all the little things he's like, write this out. And now I'm actually writing the things and I'm like, oh shit, there's good stuff here. So I would say my goal this week for intellectual, I wouldn't say to get halfway through, because there's quite a bit in here that I like really sit on. There was an entire page that I sat on for 2 nights in this book. I literally just stared at this page for 2 nights, read it over and over, just with excitement because of what I had written from it. This is the hard one. Let's see. Chapter 3. I'd say I'm still probably at a quarter of the way through. I'll work my way to halfway through, but I want to do all of the writing that he asks me to do in this book. So, say, if I get halfway through, I have to do all of the writing that he asks me to do in this book. Because it's really good. And it has engaged me in my purpose a lot more. It's having me take more action on what I'm trying to do. So for my intellectual, aim for halfway, but more just engage with the writing. Religiously engage with the writing and the things he asks me to do in the book. Physical goal, shit. All right, we're bulking. What's my physical? Physical.
No more muffins.
Let's go. I've been going pretty light on my meat consumption this last week, and I want to make sure that that's tip top. So I'm going to aim for to religiously hit 2 pounds of meat 5 days this week. And that's it. Just at least 2 pounds. I've been doing a pound at least, but I need to be doing 2 pounds. So 2 pounds of meat 5 days a week this week. I have it all meal prepped out. I just need to do it and eat it. So eat the meat. Just do it. Those are my goals. That's it.
Sweet.
All right, man. That was pretty good. And
Yeah.
we will see you guys next week. All right.
Till next time.
Till next time. That concludes 2 Minutes Left.